Welcome to the 18th episode of United Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We just finished up a game against Real Madrid. And your thoughts, Annie?
Well, of course, a very disappointing night for Manchester United and all supporters worldwide. I thought we were the better team, and a refereeing decision, I'm sorry to say, has ruined the spectacle, has ruined the game, and has unfortunately, I think, cost us a chance in the next round. And I felt for long periods of the first half and the start of the second half, we looked the better side. Going forward, we were more of a threat, even though we had less of the ball. When we got the first goal through an own goal by Sergio Ramos, I thought we were really going to move on from there. The crowd looked really up for it. Our players having the extra sting and spring in their step. And unfortunately, one moment of madness from the referee. I'm sure he's going to look at that later and regret it, as I think cost us the game.
Yeah, pretty much what you said. Moment of madness by the referee. Because if you look at you can't even call it the challenge. Nani's eyes were on the ball, and he
Yeah.
went. It should have been a yellow card at most. I think the referees made an egregious error, and I think that's definitely played a huge part in costing us the game. And as you said, first half United were absolutely brilliant. I thought probably one of the best performances of the season.
Yeah.
Definitely kept the ball, defended well, even created a few chances. And Diego Lopez was in super form throughout the game, which was
Yeah.
I wouldn't say surprising, but I was expecting that with Casillas not being in the team, we would have an easier chance in these two games. But Diego Lopez has been superb in both games.
Yeah, I
And
thought I mean, it was a good performance by the Madrid keeper, but on the other hand, I felt we were quite unlucky in some of the situations. Perhaps maybe the wrong decision a couple of times as well in final third. But overall, going forward, we have to be really proud of our performance tonight. We really gave Real Madrid a real run for their money, and Jose Mourinho just came out after the game saying the best team lost on the night. So, of course, we are united, and we will bounce back from this. We have two other competitions to look forward to. The FA Cup on Sunday, we got quarterfinal
Mhm.
versus Chelsea, and then of course the Premier League, which we want to reclaim from Man City. So it's important that even though it's a crushing defeat and a very disappointing night, we have to move on from this and come back.
definitely, yeah, as you said, moving on. And I think you're right. This, I think United can take so much from this defeat and this performance that I was looking over at my notes for the game, and I see so many times I've written down that United are playing really well. They're playing really well. And
Yeah.
despite such a good performance, to get this kind of result is just so demoralizing for the players. But we've got a great manager, we've got leaders on the team. So I think United can bounce back from this defeat and go on to win the other two competitions we're in.
Yeah, and there were a lot of positives on the night. I thought Giggs was absolutely phenomenal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 40, older than the referee, and born before Rafael. I mean, he was playing before Rafael Varane was born. Absolutely, he was kept on going till the 90th minute. He looked like the freshest player on the pitch. That man is he's just defying all odds.
Legend.
And many people surprised by his selection.
Myself included.
When he was on the bench. And Giggs has repaid the match's fate. Welbeck, I thought again was tireless, outstanding work rate. I thought Nani, justified his pick. He grabbed his chance, and of course he'd be absolutely disappointed to have got the red card and not been able to impact the game further. But I thought Rafael also came of age. He was looking shaky in the first leg, in the second leg he was on Ronaldo all the time, within touching distance of him. Not letting him go. And you got to give a lot of credit to this United side.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you said, Danny Welbeck really stepping up in these two games against Real Madrid, showing what he brings to the team with his tireless work rate and his pace and his strength and his good jumping ability. And I think he really gives a focal point to United's attack. I thought Robin Van Persie had an average game by his standards. I mean, a couple of shots here and there,
Yeah.
drawing a couple of great saves from Diego Lopez, but with the kind of caliber that Robin Van Persie has, you'd expect him to at least put away one of those chances.
Yeah, in the last 1 month or so, I think he's been slightly below the standard we should have seen him be at for the rest of the season. But whether that's the fact that we've been spoiled by his incredibly high standards, or whether he's maybe not just suffering a dip in physical fitness. Maybe he did have the hip injury as well a couple of weeks back. But like you said, some fantastic saves from Diego Lopez, and just an unlucky night.
I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, I really don't even want to talk about the game because every time I think about how well this United team played, I think how unfair it was that we couldn't get through to the next round. I think this United team, I genuinely thought we had a great chance of winning this competition. And just the bad luck of being drawn with Madrid itself, and then to have played so well over two legs and still not been able to make it through. I think that's the most demoralizing thing of all.
Indeed. Well, of course, we had a game against Norwich on the weekend as well. Very good performance in that game. Of course, victory at home. What did you make of that game, AJ?
Well, surprising team selection by Alex. Picked RVP to start, which I thought was a bit strange. I expected him to rest him for the Real Madrid game, but RVP started and it's a pretty strong team selection. I mean, we didn't have our first choice defense, but we had Chris Smalling playing, and Shinji Kagawa started, and of course we all know what happened there. Scored a marvelous hat trick, including I think he scored the first goal at the optimum time in injury time in the first half, which is a great time to score. It completely demoralized Norwich, and all in all, I think United dominated that game from start to finish. I mean, based on that performance, I was actually looking forward to the Real Madrid game, because I thought if United could even replicate half of what they did against Norwich, we'd have an easy time winning this game. Of course, United replicated more than half, and yet couldn't win the game, so it's all the more disappointing. But hats off to Shinji Kagawa. I thought he had a great game, scored his first Premier League hat trick.
Very, very tidy finishes, very neat.
And I think it shows what's been, I wouldn't say lacking, but I think what's been getting reduced popularity in players nowadays, which is the player IQ. Like Shinji Kagawa isn't the fastest guy, he's not the strongest guy, he's not great in the air. His ball control is pretty good, but not as good as, say, Xavi or Iniesta or the other greats. But if you look at his intelligence, the way he knows how to manipulate the ball, the way he knows how to use momentum and force to his advantage, as illustrated in the second goal, where instead of just smashing it past the keeper, he just used the force of the ball to guide it home. On the completely other side, the keeper not knowing where to go. And I think great finishes by Shinji Kagawa and a super finish by Wayne Rooney in the end.
Absolutely, great goal by Rooney, 25 yards out.
Definitely, and I think
brilliant goal.
I think this 12-point lead over City, especially now that we're out of Europe, I think should be enough to see us through to the finish line.
That is indeed a positive we can take from the night, and we have to really bounce back for Chelsea. It's a massive game, quarterfinal of the FA Cup. It's a competition we're taking very seriously. Really want to win it, and I hope again the lads can really bounce back as we have in the past and give us a performance to be proud of.
To be honest, I'm actually slightly apprehensive about how this United team will react to this loss. It's because it would have been a different issue if they played badly and lost. Then it would have been justifiable and they could move on. But it's just so demoralizing to lose the way they did. But I think, Ferguson's been in these situations before. He knows how to handle the dressing room. We've got several experienced players, Rio and Vidic. And even Wayne Rooney now. I think these are all leaders, and I think they can pull the team out of this slight hole that we've fallen into.
What's your prediction for the Chelsea game?
Well, it's so hard to say. First of all, I don't know what side Ferguson will pick. I mean, it'll be a strong side. I'd expect that. But would he stick with the cup side? Maybe have Butner playing at left back? Because
no, I very much doubt that. Especially after going out of Europe, I think he's going to play his full.
But if you look at Patrice Evra's been logging some serious minutes at left back. I mean, he's been played so many games, and he's not exactly young anymore. So a bit of a gamble there, and to be honest, I have no idea what team he'll put out. But I think should he put out a mid to strong range side, I'd expect United to win probably 2-1. I'd go for 2-1.
Yeah, same. I agree with you. 2-1 final score.
Well then, one last thing I'd like to talk about is, despite the refereeing blunders, I think some credit should be given to Real Madrid, how they got the goals that they needed to win the game.
It was a great goal by Luka Modric. I thought his substitution when he came on, he really changed the game.
Definitely, yes. I think he was. I think Mesut Ozil looked a bit more static when Modric was working into his little pockets, which was the space that was vacated by Nani. And I think, credit to Real Madrid as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure this game will be remembered for its poor refereeing decisions, which I think is actually rather unfair for Real Madrid. I think they had a great game, and Old Trafford isn't the easiest place to play. I mean, not by a long shot. And even after the game ended, you see, handshakes and smiles all around, and you don't see the Real Madrid players celebrating, which I thought was a big sign of respect. I think they also understood that the refereeing was poor, and that on another day they might not have won this game.
Yeah, they are undoubtedly a very classy club, and best of luck to them for the rest of the competition.
Definitely.
Well, lastly, guys, thanks a lot for watching our videos. For all the United fans out there, I know you're really disappointed tonight, but we will bounce back and hopefully get the double. See you guys next week after the Chelsea game.
See you guys.